Mir is now a third baseman for the Marlins. Interleague play tonight. Tribe fans, are you starting to feel the May magic of a year ago? A walk-off winner capped a two-game sweep of the Mariners and put the Indians 4 games atop the AL Central. Now it's time to change the grip and dig in for interleague play. Justin Masterson will get a look at Ozzie Guillen's Miami Marlins next on Sports Time Ohio. We've got a gorgeous night for baseball in downtown Cleveland as the Indians continue their homestand tonight. Interleague play as the Miami Marlins make their first trip to Progressive Field in a number of years. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe is a season-high equaling 6 games above 500 for the second time this season. And, Rick, the way they're winning, having won 4 straight, really no mystery. They're scoring, they're drawing walks, they're doing all the things that they have to do to be successful.
That's the key. They're scoring. They're getting some clutch hits. Shin-Soo Choo coming in Minnesota with a big clutch hit. It doesn't stop there, as Drupal Cabrera yesterday, and then also Carlos Santana. But when you look at the big picture of this thing, they're drawing walks, 20 walks in the last 4 games. They've hit 6 home runs. They're averaging over 6 runs a ball game. When they can do that, there's no reason why they shouldn't win the ball games. You look at them. Runners in scoring position, over at 300, 2 final wins in their final at-bat. So, I mean, it's funny. When they're winning games, and they've had a couple of streaks like that this year, they always seem to score 6 runs.
Well, obviously the walk is a big part of the Indians' offense. And for the Miami Marlins, if you walk them, you're asking for trouble because they can run when they get on the bases. Take a look at our pitching matchup. That'll be the challenge for Justin Masterson here tonight.
Well, the funny thing, he only had 1 walk in his last start against Boston, and that gave them a 4-run inning. It was a 2-out walk that came back to haunt him. And, you know, his ERA in the first inning is up over 10. So that's going to be a key to watch. No free base runners, and hopefully he'll get back on track and throw strikes and make them earn their way on base. So Masterson's got to turn it around. He will be faced against Carlos Zambrano. Been pitching very well. His ERA also is at 6 in the first inning, but in his last 3 starts, a very stingy .39 ERA.
Our Nissan Road Ahead pitching matchup. Get to a Nissan dealer for great deals on innovation you can count on. Zambrano has given up 1 earned run or less in 5 of his 7 starts already this year for the Miami Marlins. We'll see if the Indians can run their win streak to 5 in a row. That's the play-by-play straight ahead on Sports Time Ohio. Crystal clear skies in downtown Cleveland as the Indians get back to work tonight. Against the Miami Marlins in interleague action, the Indians come in 4 games in front of Detroit in the American League Central Division. They've won 4 straight. Meanwhile, Ozzie Guillen's Miami Marlins 2 games above the break-even mark, but just 3.5 games off the pace in the NL East, chasing front-running Atlanta. Starting lineup for Ozzie's Marlins, brought to you by Kia. Jose Reyes, big off-season acquisition at the top spot, then Omar Infante, followed by Hanley Ramirez. Greg Dobbs batting cleanup, then Giancarlo Stanton in the 5-hole. Logan Morrison will be the DH, then Emilio Bonifacio, John Buck, and Brian Peterson.
All right, let's take a look at Justin Masterson, brought to you by MLB.com at Bat12. MLB TV premium subscribers can get at Bat12 for free. Visit Indians.com for the details. Masterson will be making his 9th start of the year, and he has gone 2-4 in his career in 16 interleague appearances. He is 1-1 in 3 starts against the NL last season, and 2-4 overall in his career. This will be start number 10 against the National League. He pitched 1 inning against the Marlins in his career, trying to get back on track, coming off an outing in Boston where he allowed 4 runs in the first inning, and it all came after a 2-out walk.
All right, so we're ready to get underway as Jose Reyes steps in. And a pitch outside for ball 1. Reyes just a .247 average. 7 doubles, 3 triples. Broke his bat right back to the mound. He ended up with just the handle in his bare hand. The barrel ended up dead in the batter's box, 1 quick out.
Take a look at the Indians' defense tonight, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country and watching on the Armed Forces Network. Damon is in left, Brantley in center, Chu in right. Lopez gets the start at third again, Cabrera at short, Kipnis second, Kochman first with Santana behind the plate.
Ed Hickox will call the balls and strikes. Angel Hernandez at first, Chris Conroy at second, Mark Carlson down at third. Omar Infante, a familiar face, a .327 career hitter here at Progressive Field. Spent a long time with the Tigers. Now batting second for these Marlins.
And off to a surprising start, 6 homers. And he started out the year in the power surge.
Just foul third base side.
I was watching a game earlier in the year from their new ballpark down in Miami, and this guy hit the wall a couple times and just missed a couple of home runs as well. And I don't remember him with that kind of power when he was with Detroit. He has 10 doubles, 2 triples.
1-1 fouled back out of play. Now the 1-2. Almost chased after it. Hanley Ramirez waiting on deck. In 182 at-bats, Infante has 2 career home runs against the Indians. But he continues to hit. Dumps a base hit into right field. And a 1-out single.
Yeah, he tried to run one inside on him, and he just fights it off. Not much you could do here. The only thing, it was elevated upstairs above the belt. That makes it a lot easier to go the other way. And he gets it in front of you.
That will bring up Hanley Ramirez. He's the guy that with the acquisition of Reyes was moved from shortstop to third base. And anytime you have an incumbent and he has to move, it creates
especially
news.
He was the face of the team and has been down there. You know, so I don't think it went over well with him.
Double play ball to short. Cabrera to Kipnis on to first. Inning ending. Double play. Good start for Justin Masterson. Tribe coming to bat when we come back. Tribe starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Shin-Soo Choo will lead it off. Then it's Jason Kipnis, followed by Asdrubal Cabrera. Carlos Santana starting to heat up, batting in the 5-hole behind Travis Hafner. Then it's Michael Brantley, followed by Johnny Damon, Casey Kochman, and Jose Lopez.
Carlos Zambrano on the mound will make his 8th start. Has been pitching very well. He is currently riding a 20-inning scoreless streak on the road, and his ERA at just 1.88 has been awfully tough. And he's just been pitching into hard luck. He's coming off a no decision against the Mets in 7 innings. Gave up 5 hits, a couple runs, just one of them earned. So he seems to be back a little bit. He's throwing the ball very well. It may not translate into wins yet, but you keep pitching like he has been, and it will soon.
Shin-Soo Choo looks at a ball down low. According to the folks who follow the Marlins and are close to the ball club, a couple of key factors involved in Zambrano's turnaround. 1, very good relationship with the manager, Ozzie Guillen. 2, he's not the guy. He's not the ace. He doesn't have the expectations or the burden of pressure to be the ace. And thirdly, little mechanical adjustment they feel with his delivery. Maybe it's technical, maybe it's not, but a lot of it just has to do with the way his hand is cocked when he delivers the baseball. Choo lines to first, 1 quick out. He's getting more movement on his fastball, which is translating into more outs.
Take a look at the Home Depot Marlins defense. It is Peterson in left, Bonifacio in center, Stanton is in right, Ramirez at third, Reyes at short, Infante at second, Dobbs at first, Buck behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Essentially, the mechanical adjustment they made was they got his hand to get behind the baseball instead of kind of pushing it off to the side. Kipnis, a line drive, base hit into left center field. Bonifacio cuts it off, and Kipnis has a 1-out single. So each team with a 1-out base hit here in the first inning.
Anything that has to do remotely with Chicago ignites this kid. A guy that used to pitch with the Cubs, I'm sure he's watched on TV before, steps right up, and here he is. Chicago's own Jason Kipnis gets a base hit. So a 1-out single, good swing. Indians with their first base runner tonight.
1 on, 1 out for Asdrubal Cabrera. 326 average on the year. Pops it up. Foul. Playable for Ramirez. And that's a big out for Zambrano. 2 away.
It looks like the Indians, too, with their plan of attack here tonight, is look for that first fastball off Zambrano, because they are aggressive early.
Going to look at our league leaders, brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. Now this is in the big leagues. You look at all the National League guys right there at the top.
Well, pretty good ERAs right there. When I was looking through some of the National League notes, how about Washington's team ERA is under 3. That's the only team in baseball. It's at about a 2.9. Very impressive.
Pitch outside to Travis Hafner, ball 1. Hafner was hit by a pitch yesterday late in the game and had to come out. Take a look at our stat of the game, brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers, who invite you to check this out. 80 times he's been hit by a pitch in his career.
Well, when you hit home runs and you're on the plate and you don't move a lot, and he does wear that protection you see on that elbow, you can stay in there. And I guarantee that protection certainly helps.
Bill Chuck at billy-ball.com let us know that also Prince Fielder has been hit by a pitch 80 times in his career, and Josh Willingham has been hit 80 times in his career. There's a strike to Hafner in the count, 2-1. The one to Hafner yesterday at first glance looked like, oh boy, that could be trouble, because anytime you see a guy get hit on the hands,
the small bones in there, you never know.
You worry about something bad happening. Good to see Pronk back in the lineup here today. The 2-1 down in the dirt. It actually, you know, all things considered, that was Hafner's spot coming up late in that key spot in the 11th inning last night, or yesterday afternoon, and Aaron Cunningham drew the walk.
Yeah.
Set the stage for the heroics. And, of course, Carlos Santana came through with the game winner for the Indians to send them to their 4th straight win. 3-1 to Hafner. And a fly ball to deep center. Bonifacio back to catch it to end the inning. 1 in the books, no score. Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Second inning here at Progressive Field on a beautiful evening in downtown Cleveland. Greg Dobbs, Giancarlo Stanton, and Logan Morrison due up for the Marlins.
Nice shot. Blimp is out tonight, huh? Nothing better on a clear night than taking a look into the ballpark. The jewel from high atop.
Dobbs takes a look at the ball outside. Ran off the plate. There's a strike over the outside corner and the count 2-1. Fouled over toward the dugout. The Marlins come into tonight's series with the National League's best record in interleague play all time. And what's interesting about that is that the Marlins have the best National League record in interleague play, and that's 8th best among everybody. So the top 7 winning records go to the American League. The 2-2. Hit on the ground to short as Drupal Cabrera throws out Dobbs, one away. Well, Justin Masterson off to a great start so far here tonight. With more on the Indians starter, let's go down to Katie Witham
Well, Matt, the main thing that Indians pitching coach Scott Rudinski told me he's working on with Masterson lately is having more consistent delivery. And that means staying taller and really driving off the rubber in his back leg.
Well, he has been inconsistent. That's probably why the walks are up this year. One thing we looked at last year and realized he wasn't walking as many guys because he was repeating that delivery time and time again, and that's something that you have to stay on. He's a big, tall guy, and mechanically not sound, but when he gets on top of the ball, you see the bite, and his ball moves all over the place. Keep it down in the zone. And that's from staying tall so you can get some tilt to throw downward, being a big guy and a tall guy like he is.
Guess he hit that off his shoe.
You don't see him bouncing around. He's made out of stone.
This is a big man for Major League Baseball standards, 6'5", almost 250 pounds, Giancarlo Stanton. Born in California.
Well, this is a guy, he can hit him as far as anybody going in. Got off to a slow start, and they were looking at him, but look at the month of May, treating him very nicely. 7 homers, 15 ribbies.
And Rick, big doesn't always translate into success, especially in baseball. We've seen a lot of big guys who look like, boy, this a can't miss. And
athletically, though, he is.
This guy seems to be the whole deal. The 2-2. Ripped to short, in and out of the glove of Cabrera.
Thought
and that'll be a hit for Stanton.
He had it. He got leather on it, but I'll tell you, he hit it hard enough. It didn't stick into the glove of Cabrera. That ball got through. It'll go as a base hit. I mean, right on the nose. Cabrera going, it would have to be on the backhanded side. That ball just hit too hard for him.
It just looked like that ball got on top of him
in a hurry,
quicker than he realized. The 1-on, 1-out for Logan Morrison. DHing. Down low, ball 1. Low again, 2-0. Logan Morrison, born in Kansas City. He was a 22nd round pick of the Marlins back in 05. And now he's looking at a 3-0 count. That finds the strike zone.
Ozzie Guillen, a guy that always liked to run. He just never had a lot of speed with the White Sox. Later on that we witnessed them. They have 44 stolen bases as a team. That's number 1. And they start some 3-1, and that's
There's
what
a strike
I
call, and the throw was into center field, and Stanton will stay at second as he tripped over the bag.
It's exactly what I expected Ozzie to do, take off 3-1. And to see. He loves to run and stay aggressive. He will get a stolen base. And it's a good thing he didn't pick up the ball because he would have been able to get to third base. Watch where he slides, and he doesn't see this ball going to center field. And he would have been able to. He never picks it up. And Kipnis just holding on to him like he's got the ball, which is very good. A little deke, so he stays at second.
Now a 3-2 pitch to Morrison, and it's ball 4. So 2 on, 1 out for Emilio Bonifacio. And Bonifacio hitting .265 on the year. Despite having the best interleague mark all time for a National League club, the Marlins were 8-10 a season ago. Indians last year went 11-7. It was their third best record ever in interleague play. And a lot of that had to do with the fact they pitched very well. The Indians' team ERA in interleague play last year was 2.87. 2 on, 1 out, 0-1 pitch. To left, but slicing out of play as Damon runs out of real estate down there.
One thing that Justin Masterson has not done this year compared to last year, as well as with runners in scoring position. This year, a .391 average. Last year, hitters just .231 against him in this situation. So maybe when it counts, they're getting big hits.
The 0-2, a little bit high. Well, and that's been the Marlins' biggest problem so far this year. They are 27th in all of baseball, batting with a runner in scoring position, hitting just .210.
You know, we could talk about so many teams, but it all comes back to the same thing. If you're not hitting with runners in scoring position, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to win.
Got him looking. Masterson rings up Bonifacio for out number 2.
Good time to get that strikeout down in the zone, and it had some movement to it. Look where Santana's sitting. That ball started in off the plate and comes back and gets the inside corner. So it was a good pitch. He had something to hit. He couldn't pull the trigger. That'll go down as out number 2.
Now John Buck, another guy who we've seen a lot of over the years, formerly with the Kansas City Royals. Now the Marlins backstop, batting 8th and hitting just a .198 coming in, but he does have 4 homers. And very similar to what he did in Kansas City. Not a high average guy, but you make a mistake and he can hurt you.
He's got good power. There's no question. He's a good receiver. I remember him with Kansas City. He came over from Houston for Carlos Beltran. He was one of those guys in that trade.
Shatters the bat. Barrow goes by Masterson. Cabrera can take his time. Throws out Buck to end the inning. So Masterson gets out of trouble. Middle of the second, no score. Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. 66 degrees at game time. Crystal clear skies tonight.
Yeah, look at that. That's a great shot.
Carlos Santana will lead off the home half of the second inning and takes ball 1. Santana yesterday with the bases loaded and the bottom of the 11th inning, Brandon League fell behind him. And then on a 3-2 pitch with 1 out, he knew he had to throw him a strike. And Santana laced it to the outfield for an RBI single to win the game. The 2-0 in there for a strike. Missed inside, 3 balls and a strike. Big chopper, and it's a fair ball. Santana retired by Greg Dobbs at first base, 1 away. Let's go back down to Katie Witham.
Well, we've got back-to-back fireworks shows coming up on June 1st and June 2nd. If you log on Indians.com/fireworks, you can save some money by getting your tickets right now. Friday, June 1st, fireworks will be set to pop music. Saturday, June 2nd, will be country's music. It'll be a great time. Again, get your tickets at Indians.com, guys.
All right, thanks, Katie. Pitch up high to Michael Brantley. Another easy play for Dobbs at first, although he struggled with the big hop. 2 down. Our trivia question tonight brought to you by AT&T. First player with 100 ribbies in 3 consecutive seasons for 3 different teams. Here's Johnny Damon, looks at the ball outside. Now the 1-1. And a breaking ball, and a good one. Just danced over the outside corner. The 1-2. Fouled back.
Send along some birthday wishes tonight. Owen Asink is 12 years old. And Owen, wish you a very happy birthday.
Robbie Rowe in Brimfield, Ohio, celebrating his 35th birthday here at the ballpark tonight. 2-2 to Damon. Sudsy Sudbrink in green. I'm assuming that's a nickname.
Think he likes beer?
Celebrating his 42nd birthday.
Sudsy.
The 2-2. Up and away, full count. Happy birthday to Amy Check of Concord, Ohio. Also, happy birthday wishes to Barbara Milano in Ashtabula. Also, Anthony Zeke Palumbo celebrating his 93rd birthday. Damon draws a walk, a 2-out base runner for the Indians here in the 2nd inning. And one last new arrival. Best wishes to Josh and Aaron Stefano in Fairborn, Ohio. Their daughter Cadence was born during Derek Lowe's complete game shutout in Minneapolis the other day.
Well, congratulations on the birth. Nickname should be shutout.
Kochman rips it past the first baseman Dobbs. Down the line. Damon on his way around second into third. Stanton struggles with the ball in the corner. Damon's going to try to score. Here's the relay to the plate. He's safe. Damon beat the tag, and into third goes Kochman. Stanton had a tough time just getting his hand on the baseball, and Damon just kept motoring all the way around to score, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead.
That's flat out just good hustle by Damon with 2 outs and a great send by Smitty at third base. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. A 2-out walk. He's 1 out away. He couldn't close it out, and Kochman comes in and gets it down the first baseline past Dobbs. And as we'll get a chance maybe to see Stanton get this ball, it never got to the wall. So I wouldn't think he'd be able to score. That's why I say it's just flat out good hustle. He comes in, and he double clutches, gets it in, and there's Smitty sending him. Steve Smith sends Johnny Damon. Good hustle and a good call by Smith, and the Indians will take a 1-0 lead.
Just that one little bobble.
Yep.
Otherwise, he's probably out at the plate.
The definition of a step. One step. But you're thinking of that as a base runner with 2 outs, and that ball you're seeing down the line, automatic double. You got to make them stop you from scoring, and they couldn't do it.
Strike to Jose Lopez. Lopez played a key role in yesterday's come-from-behind win with an 8th-inning 3-run homer that tied the game at 4.
He's filled in nicely for Jack Hanahan while Jack's recovering from, some back issues. And we saw Jack out earlier taking some ground balls here, so he should be close to getting back testing it. I don't know how much longer, but when a guy steps in, hits a 3-run homer, you don't feel like you have to rush him back.
Yeah. Ball 4, second walk of the inning, and it's come at the bottom of the Indians' order. Here's our great clip of the game, Jose Lopez, and he just got on top of that fastball and ripped it out of here. Great clips. It's going to be great.
Yes, indeed. And, the theme to their comeback yesterday was what? The base on balls.
Yeah.
It's been a very important part of their offense this year. And what happens? A 2-out walk, then you get a base hit, you get another base runner on. That has been a big part of this team this year, the walk. They have really taken advantage of it throughout the course of the year.
Now Shin-Soo Choo looks at a ball low and away.
"36 runs have scored this year on their walks.
And
as
how many
a team,
walks?
176. It doesn't seem like much. But I'll tell you what, it's moved guys, walks have moved guys into scoring position. It's just the plain walks have scored 36 times, but it's also benefited them a lot.
Zambrano looked like he was going to cruise right through this inning. He retired Santana and Brantley, but he walked Johnny Damon.
And this is already his 5th 2-0 count.
He's got first and third with 2 down. And Choo looking all the way at a strike.
And he's made some good pitches, 2-0. He's been on that outside edge throwing the fastball and also a changeup that I've seen. And when this guy gets 0-2, he's almost unhittable. They're 0 for their last 33, but it's been the other way. The Indians have switched it over into their favor.
Now he's thrown more balls than strikes to this point. And Choo ropes it foul out of play. This will already be the 25th pitch of this inning. And again, remember, he was probably on his way to getting out of this inning in about 10 pitches or less. Choo with a line drive base hit to center field. That'll bring home Kochman. Lopez stops at second. And the Indians' 2-out hit parade continues. Choo with his 15th run batted in on the year.
And Choo is really staying behind the baseball well right now. This one was upstairs a little bit by Zambrano, but the way Choo is locked in, this is like setting it up on a tee for him. Nice groove, about belt high. It was a fastball, and you can just see that inside-out swing. Line drive to center field, so drives in the second run and keeps the inning going.
Now here again, this inning is a prime example of why the American League is so much tougher to pitch in than the National League. Because if this was a National League game in a National League city, he walks Johnny Damon with 2 outs, big deal. He's going to pitch around Casey Kochman with the pitcher waiting on deck. Even if he has to walk Kochman, he's not going to give him anything to hit.
No, you're exactly right. That's where they say, well, you have the double switches and things like that. Well, you know what? You have a lot of easy outs, too. It's easy to double switch when the pitcher's due up and you got to move somebody out of their place.
Kipnis with a line drive, caught at first by Dobbs. Oh, that saved at least 1 run for the Marlins here in the second inning. But the try breaks through with a couple of 2-out runs, and they lead the Marlins 2-zip. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Two 2-0 Indians on top, third inning here at Progressive Field. Justin Masterson will face the number 9 hitter, Brian Peterson, then top of the order. Brian Peterson has played in 7 games since getting the call up. He is 0 for 7 at the plate and looks at ball 1 outside. He's primarily a defensive replacement kind of a guy. But you can just look at what Ozzie Guillen has done with his lineup tonight. He's got Greg Dobbs hitting cleanup. Dobbs doesn't have a home run, but he's trying to get the left-handed bats in there against Masterson tonight, right, which is also why Peterson gets the start.
Well, Ozzie knows what Masterson can do to right-handers. I mean, he witnessed it in Chicago.
Three and 0 to Peterson. Catches the outside.
This is where you want to do it. A shutdown inning after your team comes out. They get you on the board. Get you 2 runs. Throw a 0 on the board and get them right back in.
A little bit low, and he walks the leadoff man. Our injury report tonight brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Jack Hanahan day-to-day. Josh Tomlin, good to see him with the cast off. He was out playing catch today. I'm trying to get the indication he'll rebound pretty quickly now. Grady Sizemore was taking batting practice on the field once again before the game today. There's Josh Tomlin. Jose Reyes shattered his bat and bounced it right back to the mound his first time up.
Well, this is a guy that he can do a lot of different things, so you have to respect he can bunt. That's why Lopez is in a couple steps in front of the bag. He can slap it by you.
Well, here's Masterson out of whack, though. He walked Peterson on 5 pitches, and now he's 2-0 to Reyes.
You know, and that's we've seen that this year where all of a sudden he can lose it. I mean, in a hurry. He's only thrown 2 out of 10 first pitch strikes. Not that first pitch strikes are a necessity. I mean, you would like to have it because I think it makes it a little easier. You can expand a hitter's strike zone. But you certainly don't want to fall behind the guys that you're good hitters, because sooner or later they're going to get you. And this is a team, a Miami team, that, you know, they can steal bases. Although Peterson is he doesn't have a hitter, hasn't been on yet, so you don't look really for him to run. But the rest of this ball club will take off.
Reyes taking all the way, looks at a strike. Takes off in a 3-1 pitch, and it's hit foul first base side.
So I can tell you right now that we've seen 2 3-1 counts in this ball game so far, one last inning, and Ozzie Guillen has started his runner both times. You know, I don't know who he's looking at, if he's looking at the hitter saying take a pitch or what, but 3-1, if that hitter gets his fastball he likes, he's going to be hacking. And he believes he's going to be good enough to lay off of it if he doesn't and let him try and steal the base. Or it's ball 4.
Runner goes, 3-2 pitch, hit in the right field. Peterson will go to third, and the Marlins are at the corners with nobody out here in the third. The walk set it up, and then he fell behind Reyes. And now Omar Infante.
And I mean, he hits this ball hard. He just throws a fastball right there because he doesn't want to walk him. Walk the number 9 guy, and Reyes drills this ball to right field, and with him running, he gets all the way to third base.
Omar Infante with a single his first time up. And a double play ball to short. Cabrera to Kipnis on to first. Called safe by Angel Hernandez. I don't know. This run scores, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Kochman did a double take. It was awfully close because he was getting down the line. You'll see the turn. You'll see the throw. He's out.
Yep.
It looked like it to me. If that ball was in the glove. From that angle, let's look at it this way. Boy, it's close. Any way you look at it. He gets to see it one speed, one time, and it was close. But he was called safe. So
runner goes on the first pitch. Santana's throw. Got him.
Nice throw.
Infante erased by Santana, 2 down.
Nice throw. I mean, that ball was right on the money. Looked like he had a pretty good jump, but watch the throw. He had a tremendous jump. I mean, that was right off. Masterson better get down a little bit more because that ball went right past his ear.
1-1 the count to Ramirez.
It's only the 8th time that they've been caught stealing as a team, which is very good. And that was a bang-bang play on a very good throw.
Straighten him up inside with a fastball. You also get the idea that while Miami has the kind of speed that naturally lends to that kind of a game, with the way they've struggled to score runs, Ozzie's probably going to try to push it even more so.
Well, when they start hitting, I'll tell you what, he really likes to keep the pressure on. If they get a lead early, he's going to try and run you out of the ballpark.
2-2.
I mean, and that's, if you have the guys that can do that, that's a fun way to play. Tough to defense speed. You know, and it all started with a walk for both pitchers today.
Checked his swing, looked like a ball, but he helped him out. Count stays 2-2.
That's the first time in this Indians 4-game winning streak in the 2 games against Minnesota and Seattle that the opposition has been able to respond and score after the Indians got on the board. And usually when you put that 0 up, you keep the momentum in your favor.
Bullseye. Inning over. Second strikeout for Masterson, but the Marlins get on the board. The leadoff walk comes around to score. 2-1 Cleveland, middle of the third. 2-1 Indians on top, bottom of the third. Cabrera, Hafner, Santana due up for the Tribe. Cabrera fouled out his first time up. Off-speed pitch in the dirt. Down low. And it's 2-0. Just did catch the corner.
That's 6-2-0 counts now, so he's been behind a lot of these Indians hitters. They could be a selective and at least make him work a little bit harder.
Had him out in front. And an easy out, one away. Take a look at our University Hospitals minor league update. Jared Gettert got the call up to AAA Columbus. And why not? He was at almost 400 for the Akron Arrows. 7 hits in his last 8 at-bats. So good luck to Jared Gettert as he moves up the ladder to AAA Columbus.
You know, and it may not seem like a big deal to a kid, but when you move up, you know, a whole level, you go from, I don't care if it's A to AA to AAA, you're excited about it because now he's
You're
just one step
closer,
away.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Travis Hafner flied to center his first time up. 1-1. Well, so much for having to crisscross the country being an adverse situation for the Chicago White Sox. Last night they beat the Angels out in Anaheim, flew all the way across the country, played a day game at Wrigley today and beat the Cubs 3-2. Diving stop by Infante. From his knees, throws out Hafner, 2 down.
Nice play. Ranging to his right. Takes a base knock away from Pronk and dives and smothers it and has plenty enough time to get up and make the throw from his knees. Good play.
In that game today in Chicago between the White Sox and the Cubs, Kerry Wood pitched an inning and then rode off into the sunset, calling it a career.
Yeah, so he retired today, huh?
Yep.
You know, wow.
That's it. That's all.
I saw where Konerko got hit in the face, too, or in the eye.
I think it was a breaking ball, but still, I mean.
Well, yeah, he couldn't get out of the way.
Two-0 count, another one, Rick. And Santana swinging away. It's almost like Zambrano refuses to give in, even when he has been behind in the count.
He's not giving in. There's no doubt about it. He's had a lot of old counts, and I've seen a lot of change-ups to the outside part of the plate. But if I was a hitter, 2-0, I'd look for something out over that plate and try and shoot him the other way. 7-2-0 counts.
High pop, pretty well hit the deep center, but Bonifacio will have room and makes the catch. Former Indians All-Star Joe Carter will join us here at Progressive Field when we come back. 2-1 Cleveland. Justin Masterson on the hill for the Tribe. He allowed the Marlins to get on the board in the third when he walked the leadoff man. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, and we're joined this inning by Joe Carter back in town. His alumni visit for the Cleveland Indians.
Hey, you know what? Archie, it's always good to be back. I didn't realize you were still here. But,
I'm still here. They can't get rid of me that easy,
get rid
man.
of you, huh? They actually pay people to talk, right?
Yes, they do. Can you believe it?
This is a great world, yeah. Great day out here and a great crowd here, too. So, it's looking good so far.
Well, Joe, you tried your hand at the broadcasting bit,
yes.
didn't you?
I did 2 years in Toronto with the Blue Jay Network, and then 2 years with the Cubs in WGN. And, man, you talking about, the Cubs, the following that they have because of WGN, wherever you go. We'd come into a town late at night, the team get to the hotel, and there's thousands of fans just because it's the Cubs.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was like a rock band everywhere we went. There's been a Cub fan.
Kind of like in the late 80s when you were traveling around with the Indians when you would roll into those cities late at night.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be waiting for us to come in.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Dobbs a weak grounder to third. Lopez will throw him out. One away, and we were talking, Rick and I were talking earlier about your career with the Indians. You had a lot of success, particularly in Boston. You had a couple of 3-homer games at Fenway Park, but Cleveland Stadium was not exactly ideal to hit a lot of home runs.
Well, you know what, I love playing in Cleveland Stadium. Left field line was very short, and I was a dead pull hitter. It wasn't until when I left, then I looked out. I come back in '91, and they made it like 415 and put a 30-foot wall up there. I'm like, who's going to hit it that far? But Boston was one of my great towns to play in.
How would you like to play here every day? Because you have 4 home runs in this ballpark coming in for just about a dozen games or so.
And I even hit home runs to right field. I never hit home runs to right field, and. But they hit him out there. I mean, this is a great ballpark. And when this opened up, in 94?
94, right.
Coming in here, it was a blast because the success the Indians had, sellout crowds, the consecutive sellout streak that they had, some great ball clubs back then.
There's your 3-homer game in 1987 down at Fenway Park.
Stanley there.
Do you remember?
I remember those. Scott Gardner, center field. That was probably the first one, and I think I had 5, and I think Mike Segui is the only guy to see all 5 of them.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, because one of them was I had 3 against the Indians, 3 with the Indians.
I thought you had 4.
I had 5 total. I don't
with
know.
The Indians. 2 in 89, 2 in 8. Wait, 1 in 86, 87, and 2 in 89.
Okay, and then my 5th time I did it was against the Indians in Toronto. So Mike Segui said
I was going to say Mike probably watched you play in Little League.
Pretty good company right there.
Yeah,
huh?
but mine is just for the American League. We can't do the National League too.
Jason Kipnis will throw him out with the outfield shift in effect there. And the Marlins go 1-2-3. We'll continue with Joe Carter when we come back. It's 2-1 Cleveland. of the fourth inning, it will be Michael Brantley, Johnny Damon, and Casey Kochman for the Tribe. Carlos Zambrano chucking it up there tonight for the Miami Marlins. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning once again joined by Joe Carter here in the booth, and great to have Joe back here in Cleveland tonight. And it's
what a
perfect evening too. Huh?
Oh, this is unbelievable. This is the way baseball was meant to be played.
Yes, indeed.
How many 1987 Sports Illustrated covers do you suppose you've signed over the years?
Let's see, anywhere between 10 and 15 gazillion.
Michael Brantley with a drive to deep right, and a nice play by Giancarlo Stanton. Got turned around but able to make the catch.
Matt, I got in today and checked in the hotel, and there was a couple of kids. They had some of those magazines. I've said there cannot possibly be any more that I have not signed. You know, I never see Corey's signature on there, but I'm like, that was 87.
Yeah.
Well, that was almost, 30? I mean,
yeah, it's a long time ago. We're not even counting.
25, 26 years ago.
But, I mean, back then, just to see anybody in Cleveland on the cover of a Sports Illustrated in any sport was a big deal.
It was a huge deal.
And I mean, when you say, this town was pumped after the year you guys had. What an offense you guys had here.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you could score some runs. And, I mean, Corey was here, and there was a number of guys. You had Butler leading off. And
Franco,
Tony
Bernazard.
Julio's still playing, by the way. He's got 4,332,000 hits somewhere.
And he what is he, 51 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Julio, and now you got Omar Vizquel playing with the Blue Jays, who's way up there.
He's 45.
So they've kept themselves in great shape. And, I said, no, 38's enough.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the body just doesn't want to go on.
Johnny Damon walks for the second time tonight. Going to bring up Casey Kochman. Well, you mentioned Corey Snyder. We get a chance to catch up with Corey every year in the Indians fantasy camp. And he's still working, hitting coach in the Mariners organization.
Yeah, he was in Double-A, yeah.
But you guys did make a heck of a tandem in that Indians lineup.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And to watch a guy like Corey Snyder play, I mean, I played a little first base, and he'd be at shortstop, and he would just, he'd burn your hand. And then I saw him make so many great throws from the outfield.
Yeah.
No one had a better arm or a quicker release than what Corey Snyder had. I mean, he had a cannon. He was fun to watch.
You do not see arms like that around baseball anymore.
No.
This guy we have in right field, Shin-Soo Choo, has a pretty good arm. But, Corey, Choo. Yeah. He's got a good arm. But Corey Snyder's might have been one of the best.
Yeah, well, Corey could run parallel to the foul line, catch the ball at the 325 mark, and turn around and throw a one-hop seat in the home plate, and they would beat the runner 9 out of 10 times.
While we got a chance, let's check out our AT&T trivia question, because we might have an idea who the answer is.
All right, what do we put on there tonight?
First player with 100 ribbies in 3 consecutive seasons for 3 different teams.
Man, that's kind of hard, because you got to get traded 3 times, in 3 years.
89,
nobody wants
90,
you.
91.
91. There you go.
Kochman lifts one to left, over near the line. Peterson makes the grab, 2 down, and that'll bring up Jose Lopez.
That's when 100 runs, 100 RBIs meant something back then.
But you know what? You mentioned that, and Rick and I have talked. The game's starting to come back to that again. Now that they've cleaned up the game and gotten rid of a lot of the performance-enhancing drugs.
You mean
25 homers is legit again.
It's not 175 RBIs,
and 50 home runs.
Yeah, and then you have 4, 5, 6 guys with 50 home runs.
Yeah, that's no question. That's 30 home runs is legit in any ballpark.
I agree 100%, and it's good to see them coming back, because what it really did, Rick and Matt, it took away from the guys who played the game the correct way.
Right.
And so it used to be 400 home runs. Tom and I were talking next door. The 400 mark was that mark where you may get into the Hall of Fame. And I ended up with 396.
396, yeah, you were 4 short.
Yeah,
that's right.
and got 15 votes for the Hall of Fame. And that was it. So because of how skewed the numbers have been. So
yeah, that's too bad.
Will that ever change? And what's that going to do to the guys now that played in that era that are going to come around? How are sports writers going to deal with it? And how long is it going to take them to let any of those guys in?
Well, it's up for grabs right now, because once these guys retire and all these guys become available for the Hall of Fame, you say, well, was he? There's some discrepancy, and so what's going to happen is you want to see a lot of guys voted in on the first year ballot that maybe should have been.
They say time heals all wounds, but I mean, if you were in that era and you did do steroids and things like that, you shouldn't be allowed in.
No, I agree. They should just
scratch, gone.
Scratch it, yeah.
That's right. I mean, because it was sitting outside in the clubhouse when you talk about the drugs and the things that happen in baseball.
Well, and the weird thing is you have a guy like Roger Clemens, who was probably a Hall of Famer before his career took this odd upturn.
Well, the same with Barry Bonds. Yeah.
Barry Bonds, another one, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, before, Barry was in a club by himself, the 400 club.
Right.
He only had one member.
Joe, thanks for stopping by. Great to see you here this weekend.
All right.
Enjoy your
Good
time.
Good to see you guys. All right, Rick.
Don't forget Joe Carter bobblehead Sunday right here at Progressive Field. Great to see you down here. 2-1 Tribe after 4. With 17 locations in Northeast Ohio. And by Levin's, home of the Sealy Posturepedic mattress made right here in Northeast Ohio. Fifth inning here at Progressive Field, bottom third of the order for the Marlins. As Emilio Bonifacio takes a strike, struck out his first time up. Tribe holding to a 2-1 lead. A little bit outside, 1-1. Broke his bat. It got by Masterson. And now a barehanded attempt by Kipnis goes awry.
In-betweener right there, because once that ball got past Masterson, I think Kipnis thought Cabrera was going to cut in front, and he was sort of going back there to maybe make a play. And it was just it's a tough play. It's one of those tweeners where once Masterson probably should have caught that ball. See Cabrera running in hard. He realized maybe he wasn't going to get there, but Kipnis felt he was coming. So he didn't want to collide with him, and it just ends up falling in place. See, Kipnis would have had to backhand it. It's just one of those tweener plays. I think Masterson probably should have caught it, and everything would have been fine.
Let's see if he can get a double play ball here. John Buck bounced to short his first time up.
Well, this guy that's on first base has 20 stolen bases, yet to be caught. He leads the world in stolen bases. So you can bet he's going to be off and running when he feels he can get a jump.
Justin, 64 pitches on the night. Snap throw, close play. Kochman really slapped the tag down in a hurry. Now Angel Hernandez calling time and letting Masterson know that Bonifacio had come off the bag to get himself right, because that was a very close play. And I think the tag applied by Kochman took a little starch out of him.
Well, when they keep throwing over there, you got to slow it down a little bit. That's why they continue to throw over for base stealers. This year, Masterson, they're 1 of 1 today. They've stolen 1 out of 2. And that was the first guy they've been able to catch this year. So they are 1 out of 8.
You mean base stealers are 7 out of 8 against him?
Base stealers are 7 out of 8. I was thinking on Masterson, base runners are 7. So that's why I figure they're going to get their chances, and you got to pay attention to the good ones, and you've got a good one on.
Down low, 1-1.
He did a good job last year. It was 14 out of 28.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Got him.
Oh.
Santana has thrown out his second would-be base stealer of the night.
Ozzie standing up looking there. He was waiting for his player to say something, which he did not. But that might have been the hit and run there.
Well, Buck went chasing after it.
Yeah, he did. That may have put something on. Watch the swing to protect him. That was way out of that. Had to be a hit and run. So it was a very good throw again by Santana. So they've gotten 2 out of 3 tonight. Look at him. He's stalking. Yes. Dropped the Kenny Kaiser on him. Got him.
The 1-2. That never gets old, by the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I like that. I mean, you can see after he lets it go, he knows he made a good throw. It's just a matter of getting him. You got the best base stealer the first time he's been caught in 21 attempts.
Up high to Buck in a full count. Swing and a miss. He comes back to strike him out. 4th K of the night for Masterson. 2 down in the inning.
Check out the movement on this pitch. And I mean, it just takes off at 89 miles an hour. You see, a lot of times you'll see pitchers throw changeups like that where the bottom drops out. Well, that's a two-seam fastball. And that's throwing hard, and it moves late.
Missed down and in, 1-1. He walked Brian Peterson to open the 3rd inning, and Peterson came around to score. Hit in the hole and in the left field, a base hit. 2-out single will keep the inning alive. Kind of get the feeling it's a World Series rematch weekend here in interleague play. You've got the Indians and Marlins. Pirates and Tigers are playing. They squared off back in the 1909 Fall Classic, and the Reds and Yankees, who played in the 1976 World Series.
How about the A's and the Giants?
Yeah, there's another one. So that's 4. Indians Marlins World Series back in 1997 was one of the highest scoring World Series. Runner goes.
Look at
Santana. Got him again.
All right.
3 times tonight, Carlos Santana has erased a Marlins base stealer. This time, it ends the top of the 5th inning. Two-one Indians, bottom of the 5th inning. Starting to feel a little bit more like summertime. We're getting closer to it. Gabby Sanchez has come into the ballgame to take over for Greg Dobbs at first base. I don't know if this is just a normal substitution pattern for Ozzie Guillen or if something might have happened to Dobbs.
I would have to think something happened to him. It's the 5th inning.
Oh, we've got Greg Dobbs is now out in left field.
Maybe something happened to Peterson
when he tried to steal.
Yeah, going in. Okay.
So Dobbs is still in the game. He's just out in left field now. There he is. Okay.
Can't fool us.
Well, you can, but
no,
we'll find out eventually.
We'll do our investigative work and we'll figure it out.
Chu has to move out of the way. RBI single his last time up. So Bonifacio's the guy who's out of the game. Like I said, eventually we'll figure it out.
Well, Peterson's still in the game.
He went to center field.
Bonifacio's catching.
Keep looking for Bonifacio. He might still be out there somewhere. Talk about the curly shuffle here. So Sanchez at first, just into the game. Dobbs goes to left. Peterson goes to center. And Bonifacio would appear to be out of the game.
We think.
Unless he's wearing someone else's jersey. Chu draws a walk to open the home half of the 5th. And for Zambrano, that's the 4th walk he's allowed here tonight. Now, I remember looking at the stats. He had an ugly game early where he walked 6 batters.
Yeah, that was the second game against Houston.
Yeah.
But he only gave up 1 run.
So this is the 2nd most walks he's allowed in a start this year.
Then he came back 3 weeks later and pitched against Houston at Houston, and he had a complete game. Shutout.
Up and away. Jason Kipnis, base hit his first time up, and then in the second, he ripped a screamer down the first baseline and Dobbs, the first baseman at the time, made a great diving catch to end the inning.
Yeah, that stopped. That could have been a huge inning.
Really could have been. Outside 2-1. This next pitch will be the 70th here tonight for Zambrano. There's a strike to even it up. I mentioned earlier that Marlins-Indians World Series in 1997, one of the highest scoring World Series of all time. The only two World Series that had more runs scored was in 1960 when the Pirates beat the Yankees, and 2002 when the Angels beat the Giants. And in all three instances, the team that scored the fewest runs won the World Series all three times.
Interesting.
The Indians outscored the Marlins, Yankees outscored the Pirates, Giants outscored the Angels, and all three lost the World Series. The 2-2. Little tapper, first base, just into the game. Sanchez with a nice pick and flip for out number one. Chu goes into scoring position. Our in-game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Casey Kochman with an RBI double with 2 outs in the second, scored Johnny Damon all the way from first, and then Shin-Soo Choo shot one the other way to bring home Kochman. Marlins got their only run on an RBI ground out. It was nearly a double play, and that's all the scoring. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. We are in the fifth with 1 on, 1 out for Asdrubal Cabrera.
That's funny. Zambrano wanted him to check. He didn't see that they checked, and he already said no swing, so he was staring down at that third base umpire, Mark Carlson. He said, did he swing? And Carlson said, no, I already said it.
And John Bucket had time there when Zambrano fired. Runner at second with 1 out, the 1-0 pitch. Popped him up back toward the screen. Buck gives it a look, and he's got to play. 2 down. So that's twice tonight Cabrera has fouled out.
Well, use Indians Perfect 10 Flex Packs however you want. You bring one friend to 5 fireworks nights or a group of 10 to collect any of your favorite bobbleheads. It'll start with Joe Carter's on Sunday. So log on to Indians.com, Perfect 10, or visit Discount Drug Mart and get yours today. And there it is. There's Joe.
Travis Hafner awaits the pitch. It's outside and low, ball 1. Fastball came inside, 2-0. And that's outside. 3 balls, no strikes. See if Hafner gets anything to hit here. 3-0. Came with an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, changeup. 3-0 changeup. How about that? And it doesn't seem to bother Zambrano to pitch behind in the count. This is his third 3-0 count. He's had 11 2-0 counts, and the Indians still haven't been able to really do much damage. When you look at it, they only have the 3 hits. They've been on 4 walks. A slider or curveball, whatever you want to call it. That may be a curveball more than a slider. But he's right back into the count now, 3-2. This one, he's on the side of that ball. That's more of a slider. There you go. Getting a second look at it.
And the payoff pitch. Locked him up with a fastball. First strikeout of the night for Zambrano. 2-1 Cleveland after 5. To an upcoming home game. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. Beautiful shot. Sun going down over Lake Erie tonight. And here at Progressive Field, a 2-1 Indians lead going to the 6th inning. Top of the order for Miami, Reyes, Infante, Ramirez. And Reyes takes a strike. It's 0-2. Fouled back. Tapped to second base. Kipnis there, throws him out. 1 away. As promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And Carlos Santana with a career-high 3. Throwing out would-be base stealers tonight.
Oh, right on the money. Remember, he had one throw that went into center field, his very first one, but he slowed it down a little bit, and I mean the rest of them have been right on the dot, like throwing bullseyes.
Omar Infante 1 for 2. Justin Masterson, 9 ground ball outs, 4 strikeouts. And, of course, you had the 3 thrown out base stealers. He has not had a put out in the air tonight. Missed inside. 2-2. Just missed outside. Tried to frame that over the outside corner. Fouled back. Count remains 3-2 on Omar Infante.
Just from the way I'm watching Justin pitch tonight, it seems like when his velocity is about 87, 88, 89, he really gets good movement on that sinker. I mean, a lot of movement. In times we've seen him go up to 92 or something like that. It straightens out and it seems to elevate for me, at least in the last few starts when I've watched him pitch. He's had great movement tonight, and maybe that's why he's getting so many ground balls, but he hasn't been throwing as hard. I haven't seen many in the 90s.
9th pitch of the at-bat coming here to Infante. And how many times do you hear a sinker ball pitcher being too strong, and that's usually a bad thing? He winds up walking Infante. 1 on, 1 out. We'll go back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, the White Sox defeated the Cubs today 3-2, but the Sox may have suffered a loss as well. Paul Konerko was hit just above his left eye here with an 85-mile-per-hour Jeff Smarja split-finger fastball. He has a cut above the eye and swelling and will undergo further tests. Matt, back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Well, we remember in a game against the White Sox when Travis Hafner got hit by a pitch from Mark Burley. And it knocked him out for a couple of months.
Was that right before the break or right after the break?
I want to say it was right before.
No, I think it was right after the break, a Saturday game. Well, yeah, that's just, you never know what's going to happen. Is it going to have anything to do with his vision or things like that? Is what you have to sit and wait and see.
Well, in the case of Travis all those years ago, and that was like 7 years ago, I think, he had concussion issues. So you just never know what kind of after effects may be. 91 pitches for Masterson here, 1 on, 1 out. That's drilled deep left. Damon will play it off the wall, plays it well. And a throw in towards second base, cut off, and in safely with a 1-out double is Hanley Ramirez. So Marlins at second and third with only 1 out now.
Well, Ramirez got a pitch to his liking, and I mean, he hit a line drive bullet off the wall. He sized him up that time. That's an 88-mile two-seamer. And Justin got him the first 2 times, but not that time. So now Marlins in business, second and third, 1 out.
And Greg Dobbs 0 for 2 on the night. Indians play the infield back. They'll concede the tying run on a ground ball. Joe Smith getting up and just now starting to get loose in the Indians bullpen. Dobbs fly ball left field. Damon on the run near the line, makes the catch in foul territory. Tagging and coming home and sliding in safely with the tying run is Omar Infante. Dobbs with his 7th RBI on the year, and we're even at 2. Well, Dobbs gets the job done. He didn't hit it all that well, but he hit it in a spot where Damon on the dead run didn't have much time to right himself to even get off a decent throw.
Yeah, they were going to run anyway. They were going to tag up in that situation and force you to throw him out.
Giancarlo Stanton 1 for 2. He singled his first time up on a line drive that Omar Vizquel got, that Asdrubal Cabrera got leather on but couldn't pull it in. And then last time up, he struck out. The 0-1. Fouled back. Up and away, took off on him.
That might be the hardest pitch he's thrown tonight, and that was at 94, and it was nowhere close. You know, probably trying to ride that fastball up on him, following up the breaking balls and changing the eye level, but it was nowhere close to the strike zone.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out again. 5 Ks for Masterson, but the Marlins come back to tie the game at 2. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Really a picture-perfect evening here at the ballpark as the Indians and Marlins have played to a 2-2 tie through 5.5 innings. Bottom of the 6th, Carlos Santana to lead off. And takes a strike. Even with that, Zambrano has thrown more balls than strikes tonight, but he's done nothing more than frustrate Indians hitters and keep them off balance all night long.
Yeah, he's been behind a lot of them and has proven he can get them out. This is one point now, Matt. I'm looking up and see that sky. It's at that point in the night, you know, for a few minutes where you better run everything out. It may be tough to see.
Fly balls could become adventurous.
This is his very first 0-2 count. We talk about him when he's 2-0, and hitters are 0 for 33 when he's had him down 0-2. So we'll see what happens.
He's had 11 2-0 counts tonight, and the Indians are only 1 for 8 in those situations. So I don't know what the key is here tonight. Second strikeout for Zambrano, and let's check in once again with Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, I'm hanging out with
Jake Leinenkugel right now, and you guys are celebrating 145 years of Leinenkugel Bear. You're on your first ever road trip. Talk to me about it. How's it going? It's fun, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you, this is our 10th city. We're in Cleveland. I'm at the Jake, now Progressive Field, having a great time watching my favorite sport, baseball. Go Tribe. We're going to be going down to Cincinnati and also a stop by at Columbus, but I'll tell you, Ohio and greater Cleveland has been great, so thank you.
Well, and I know you're enjoying the game today. You're mixing and mingling with the fans. Are you loving being here in Cleveland?
Cleveland is great. I mean, this is my type of town. Love you guys. Thank you.
Well, thanks for letting us stop by. Make sure to pick up a summer shandy. I'm going to. Maverick will send it back over to you guys for now.
Thanks, Katie. I had a few summer shandies last night. You ever had one?
No.
Pretty good. I was drinking them out of my redneck wine glass that my sister-in-law got me. It's a ball jar with a stem connected to the bottom of it.
I know how to taste.
That's how we roll. It's good.
Where, in Ashland?
It's beer brewed with lemonade.
Well, you said it's getting hot. It's summertime.
Yeah.
Why not? Sounds good.
Michael Brantley 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded out, flied out.
That was a fine running catch by Stanton in right field. Another
Liner.
good swing.
Right at the left fielder Dobbs. 2 away.
Another good swing by Brantley.
You can win a $100 gas card courtesy of your Northeast Ohio Shell retailer and True North convenience stores. Visit STOHD.com to enter for your chance to win. One new winner will be picked each week from now until September 26th. Here's Johnny Damon, who for whatever reason Carlos Zambrano can't throw a strike to. He's walked him twice tonight. Damon came around to score the Indians' first run of the night in the second inning. And he's 2-0 to Damon. And he just came off the mound and grunted and snorted to no one in particular. Every pitcher, it seems like, occasionally will have one of those games where there's one guy and for whatever reason he just can't. He keeps walking.
Has a tough time. Yeah, he's taking a walk around the mound, having a meeting with himself.
Way up high.
Sometimes the harder you try, the tougher it is. See, he's talking. He's yelling at himself now. Just throw it down the middle. He did, but it was high.
Walked him again. How do you like that? Well, it was with 2 outs when he walked Damon in the second inning that led to his trouble, and the Indians would rally to score a pair. Because this guy, Kochman, ripped the ball inside the bag and down into the right field corner. Kochman takes inside corner, evens the count 1-1.
Yeah, I was looking at Zambrano too, and you would think if given the chance or could get a jump, go ahead and try and steal a base, but he's tough to run on. He doesn't lift that front leg, and he delivers the ball to home plate. He's going to give John Buck a good opportunity for a big guy.
Zambrano about to make his 95th pitch of the night. Laying off his Kochman in a 2-1 count. Mentioned earlier, Zambrano seemed to be a different guy, a changed man in Miami from the seemingly possessed wild Tasmanian devil that he was in Chicago. Well, Tapper to second base, and that ends the inning. 6 complete, and it remains a 2-2 ball game.
Beginning of June, brand new this year, they've got happy hour beer specials out there. Log on to Indians.com and get all the information. But if you don't have Memorial Day plans, plan to spend them with us here at the ballpark Monday, May 28th. The first 15,000 fans are going to take home a free Justin Masterson replica jersey. That's Monday, May 28th. You can go online and snatch up those tickets and be here with us on Memorial Day, guys.
Thank you, Katie. 2-2, 7th inning. Logan Morrison will lead off for the Marlins. And Masterson misses outside ball 1. Again, Joe Smith up in the Indians bullpen. Masterson 2 pitches shy of 100 on the night.
Well, the amazing thing, Masterson has walked 3, and 2 of them have come around to score for the Marlins. Back in the 3rd, it was a leadoff walk by to Peterson. And then the Infante walk in the 6th.
Now the 3-1. Hit right into the teeth of that shift. Kipnis from the outfield throws him out. Our highlight reel brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. And Justin Masterson has been able to get into the kitchen a number of times, break some bats. He's punched out 5. Had the ground ball working. They don't have a fly ball out yet.
Just watch the movement of the pitches that they're showing you right now, and you can understand why. You either top it, hit it on the ground, or you swing and miss it. They have not centered very many balls. Ramirez hit the hardest ball. That was a double last inning before the sacrifice fly. Stanton hit that line drive back in the 2nd, hit on the nose. But other than that, they have not centered many.
No. The 1-1 fouled back. Well, Rick, a lot of these interleague games so far today have followed the same pattern that ours has followed. Very close, low scoring. White Sox beat the Cubs 3-2. Baltimore, Washington 1-1. Atlanta's beating Tampa 3-2. KC over Arizona 2-1. They're early in that game. You got the Yankees leading the Reds 1-0 in the 7th. Verlander's got a no-hitter into the 7th against the Pirates. They're winning 4-0. So a lot of low score, other than Toronto bashing the Mets 10-1. Every other game is kind of like this one.
I like our chances then. We're 9-1 in one-run games. Marlins are 8-7. 9-1. That's pretty impressive. That's by far the best in baseball.
Now the 2-2. Wow. That looked like a very good pitch.
No, he's sitting on the plate. You know, that ball had some comeback to it, and then Santana tried to get that glove down.
Grounded to third. Jose Lopez, long throw, and Kochman able to stay on the bag. And how about Gabby Sanchez? He went inside and never even came close to touching the bag.
Yeah, you realize you're out and you're going to avoid that collision anyway. And you don't want to have to slide because that's how you get hurt. But if you watch the footwork of Kochman, that's what makes him so good at first base. It throws up the line. So what he does, he changes feet. And there he goes. He goes running to the inside. He knows that he's got the ball. And he's going to be out anyway, so you don't try for the bag. Avoid the collision.
John Buck 0 for 2, looks at ball 1. In the air, right field. Chu makes the catch. And a 1-2-3, 7th inning for Justin Masterson. Stretch time here in Cleveland, brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic, where every life deserves world-class care. Call 216-444-CARE for an appointment today. Get a look in from our Panini's camera. Get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill. Justin Masterson locked in a pretty good duel here tonight with Carlos Zambrano.
Well, he's got to be pleased with his delivery. He's been able to repeat it tonight. He's had good movement on his pitches. 2 runs, and as I mentioned, out of those 3 walks, 2 of them come around to score. But he has really thrown the ball well.
Jose Lopez 0 for 1 with a walk. Looks at the ball outside. Lopez walked on 4 pitches in the bottom of the 11th inning yesterday to start the Indians' game-winning rally. Takes a strike. At the knees, 2-2. He comes right back to even the count. Roped into left field, a base hit for Lopez, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard.
Well, Zambrano hung him a breaking ball, and I mean, Lopez did exactly what you're supposed to. He got on top of it and then hit it in the hole. And if you watch, that's a slider, middle of the plate. Watch Zambrano. After it's not caught, he realized it was a bad pitch, and he was upset with himself, but he hung it. And Lopez gets the 7th inning started on the right foot. He can't believe it. All right.
You could see his reaction as he looked up at the video board and saw the location of his pitch. He didn't like it. Now Chu, who drove in a run with a base hit to left center earlier in the game, walked his last time up. Blowing away, 2 balls, no strikes. Zambrano over 100 pitches on the night. Marlins bullpen getting some stirring down there. Just
this guy,
did catch
I got to
the
tell you,
plate.
for his number of 2-0 counts as he has had tonight, he has come back and made some quality pitches.
Would you say he's pitching backwards tonight about as effectively as anyone?
Yeah, no question. This is one of the first few times I've seen him come inside 2-0.
There's a liner to left. Late break, but a nice catch by Dobbs, 1 away. Back to the studios for an in-game update once again. Here's Al.
Hey, man, bottom of the 7th inning in Motown. Tigers leading the Pirates 4-0, but the story is Justin Verlander, a no-hitter through 7. He's faced only 2 batters above the minimum. He has 9 strikeouts and 2 walks through 7. His season ERA right now at 2.20. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. Randy Choate is up loosening in the Marlins bullpen as Jason Kipnis looks at a ball outside. There's the left-hander, the sidearm delivery. Marlins bullpen has had its issues this year. I was mentioning last inning how a lot of the Marlins people feel that Zambrano has changed from his volcanic ways in Chicago. The bullpen blew 2 of his wins this year, and Heath Bell, the closer, blew both of them. And after the second one, Bell approached Zambrano in the clubhouse and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. You know, I blew it. It's on me." And Zambrano stopped him before he could even get the words out and say, "Hey, don't worry about it. No big deal. We came back and won the game. That's all that matters." So they point to things like that. And, Rick, you and I have been around a long time, and we know that for the most part, people don't change. Guys don't change. If they're explosive, then they're explosive. They may mask it for a while, but deep down, it's hard for people to change who they are. So you wonder how long this will last with Zambrano. 2 down. As Kipnis put a good swing on it, but flies out. Every time the Indians homer this year, Rick and I donate $5 each, and the Great Clips folks will donate $50 to the Gathering Place. And our season total, $1,980. Great needs, great deeds, great Clips.
Well, baseball is a very emotional game, and, you know, throughout it'll even out in this game. You know, he's going good now. You hope he stays that way, and you see how it goes. But the game has a way of bringing back or turning around.
It will test you.
Yeah, it'll test you. It's a very humbling game. You know, and sooner or later, if you're high strung, it'll find a breaking point at some point in time.
He wore out some water coolers in Chicago.
That's okay. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys do that. I mean, yeah, he's done some damage.
The 1-0. Cabrera ground ball to second, and a routine out ends the inning. So we go to the 8th, still deadlocked at 2.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
And a 2-2 score as we go to the 8th inning. Tony Sipp coming on for the 18th time this year. No wins, a loss, a 5.79 ERA. Justin Masterson went 7 innings tonight. He allowed 2 runs on 6 hits. Walked 3, and 2 of those came around to score on him. Isn't that something?
Yeah, but he pitched well. It happens. He walked 1 the last time, and it got the 4-inning first, going. It's just a bad thing, but he threw the ball very well tonight.
He did. Struck out 5, and gave him 7 strong innings, 111 pitches. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. Just a little bit high with the off-speed pitch. Fastball away, and it's ball 3. And he comes back to run it full. The number 9 hitter, Brian Peterson, who walked and scored in the 3rd and singled in the 5th. The 3-2 pitch, fouled back. This is a guy who got his first hit of the year with that single in the 5th inning. He had been 0 for 7. Three-two. Then he walks again. Leadoff man aboard for the Marlins here in the 8th. Taco Bell inside, Doritos outside. The new Doritos Locos Tacos, only at Taco Bell. It's crazy good. Jose Reyes 1 for 3 on the night. Lopez in on the grass at 3rd. See how the Marlins play this. He squares, he bunts, good bunt. Sipp off the mound, grabs it, going to first. Throws him out. But the go-ahead run into scoring position. For Reyes, his second sacrifice bunt on the year.
Well, he's a guy that could go out there and bunt for a base hit, and Ozzie doesn't have to worry about it. He's such a good bunter. He doesn't have to put it on. It was awfully close at first, and Sipp, that's going to be it for him. He was on for 2 hitters.
So Manny Acta will go to the right-hander, Joe Smith, when we come back. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Guys are providing great overhead shots all night long and a beautiful evening. And a good ball game. 2-2 our score. Marlins have the potential go-ahead run at second base with one out. Joe Smith coming on to face Omar Infante. Infante tonight, 1 for 2. He has walked and scored a run. And a first pitch strike. By the way, Justin Verlander looks like he's going to take his no-hitter into the ninth inning. Did Murph say he struck out the side?
Yes, he did in the eighth. He sure did.
Back to Smith. Oh, he's got the runner caught. Throws back to second. The ball hits the runner, goes into right field, and the worst possible outcome.
Well, there's a situation where maybe being as athletic as Smitty is, he made the mistake there. He had him in the rundown. Give the ball up. He wanted to run him back to second, which is a proper thing to do. I want to watch this again on the throw if he was on the mound, but he threw the ball right into the diving runner going back into the base, and it hit the runner. See, get rid of it. See, he took too many steps and then was late and then threw the ball into the runner. He had him dead to rights, and I have no problem with him going. He was going back to second, but he never got rid of the ball quickly. He tried to run at him when he was already going back to second. Probably should have got rid of the ball a couple of steps earlier, and they would have had him. Instead, it'll go as an error. And they have first and third now with one out.
And Hanley Ramirez at the plate, who doubled off the wall and left his last time up. Squibs it up the first baseline foul. One thing about Ramirez, he hits the ball so hard that if he hits it at an infielder, you've got a great chance to turn into inning-ending double play, as they did in the first inning.
You go with the double play ball, but what bothers me here is this guy is not afraid to go to right field, and that would be the approach as a right-hander off Joe Smith. Take it the other way. If he goes out and tries to get that sinker in and try and pull it, you would have a good chance. If he can go the other way, though, that's going to be a tougher double play to turn when you're going 4-6-3. 1 for 6 in his career against Smitty.
Fouled back. It's 0-2. First and third with one out. And an 0-2 count on Ramirez. In on his thumbs, and I think he broke his bat.
He sure did. He sure did. I mean, they wanted to pound him in at 0-2, and Joe does a great job. Look at that's a ball. But, you know, with 0-2, he's swinging at it and just shattered his bat. I'd like to see that same pitch again because he's protecting up there. That pitch had to be 6 inches inside.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't even close. So go back in there, and it might open up that plate for the outside on the next pitch. They didn't. Now you see Santana sat away. Now you could set the hitter up. You know, he was sitting away, but it was the old move third to first, which never works. But a lot of times hitters will look back, and if they see Santana sitting away, going right back inside. Oh, and Joe didn't want to go in there. He wants to go away with it.
Fouled out of play. There is a movement, Rick, in the next off-season.
Right.
They're looking at outlawing that maneuver by the pitcher where he comes off the rubber, fakes the throw to third. They want to outlaw that to say if you fake a move, it's going to be a balk. You've got to throw to the base in that situation.
I'm all for that. It may work 1 out of every 100 times. It may.
Slider. A little bit low.
Okay, there's the chase pitch, which he doesn't chase. So now you reset it and go back to, I'd like to see something else inside here. Not in enough.
Center field, Brantley will make the catch, but the go-ahead run will tag and score easily. And the Marlins take a 3-2 lead.
So for the third time tonight, the Marlins score because of the walk. And they score again. And when you look at it, he gets ahead of him on 2 sinkers. He's trying to shoot it that way. Then he goes way inside. He'll run one up and away, a little slider down the way. He doesn't. I want to see this one way in again. He didn't get it there.
Left it on the plate.
Yeah, he did. So the sacrifice fly is taken care of. Joe hurt himself with the error.
That's
Actually
what really
had the guy.
That's what really hurt you.
Yeah, sure did. That run will be charged to Tony Sipp.
Greg Dobbs 0 for 2.
That's their second sacrifice fly of the day, too. So the walks coming in on sac flies haven't had to hit their way in. The Marlins don't have a hit to drive in a run. They grounded out into a force, a double play ball that ended up coming in, and 2 sac flies. And all 3 runs that they scored came from the walk. So they're taking a page out of the Indians' book.
And it's outside 1-2. He waves at it to strike out and end the inning. But the Marlins take the lead. 3-2, middle of the 8th. And for the Indians, Travis Hafner, Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley all due up. Left-hander Randy Choate coming out of the Marlins bullpen in relief of Carlos Zambrano, who went 7 innings tonight and gave up just 2 runs.
Well, he's done a nice job matching up for Ozzie this year. Choate has 11 career appearances against the Tribe. Last faced him when he was a member of the Rays back in 2010 in this ballpark. Allowed a couple of runs in 5 appearances and 4 1/3 innings here in Cleveland. So he's coming on to face Hafner, Santana, the switch, and Brantley. So not a surprise, another left-hander, the first one out of the bullpen to face the Indians late in the ballgame. It's happened all year, and it'll continue to happen, I would think, with all the left-handers that the Indians have.
Well, Travis Hafner 0 for 3 tonight. Outside ball 1. Hafner's flied out, grounded out, called out on strikes. That was back to end the 5th inning. And he waves at an off-speed pitch. Emilio Bonifacio, who left this game for the Marlins, they tell us he has a sprained left thumb, and he is day to day. Right-hander Steve Cishek. Hafner down on the count. And it's outside to even up 2-2. Little bit low and outside on a full count. Left-hander Randy Choate, first man out of the Marlins bullpen tonight. And a 3-2 count to the first man he has faced. And Hafner fights the 3-2 pitch off. Indians on the wrong end of a 1-run score at this point. But as Rick told you earlier, 9-1 on the year in 1-run games for the Maniac Cleveland Indians. Manny and Sandy looking things over here in the 8th. 3-2 pitch. Big bouncer in the hole. Gloved by Infante, and he throws him out. 1 away. Tonight's box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, who invite you to see the 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today.
Only 4 hits.
Not much going.
No, there is nothing going.
And you go back to that second inning when they were putting it together, albeit with 2 outs. Jason Kipnis sent a screamer to first that was caught on the line drive diving stop by Dobbs. He doesn't catch that. You got another run in, and who knows what happens after that. But after that, Zambrano was able to right himself. He pitched a gem for the Marlins. The only other hit he allowed after the second inning was a leadoff hit to Lopez in the 7th. And then he retired the next 3 in a row. Santana 0 for 3 tonight. Carlos brought a 5-game hitting streak into tonight's game. That's down low, 2-1. Here's the set and the 2-1. Out of play. That'll even the count. Tomorrow we're back at it at 4 o'clock. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Genmar Gomez against Anibal Sanchez. And again, a 4 o'clock first pitch time. We'll have it for you on STO. Base is empty. One out here in the bottom of the 8th. And that's low. Full count. Michael Brantley waiting on deck. So back-to-back full counts for Randy Schote here in the 8th. And he rings up Santana, 2 down. So he goes full to the first 2 hitters and gets them both.
That went in there. I mean, he went back like it was way inside, but it really wasn't. When you look at it, it was, I mean, from that angle, it looks like it was way inside.
Looked like it was off the plate. I don't know about way inside, but it definitely looked like it was off the dish. 2 down for Michael Brantley. He's 0 for 3. The biggest crowd here at Progressive Field since opening day, 29,378. It includes a walk-up crowd of 6,000, which marks the 7th largest walk-up crowd here at Progressive Field. Beautiful night. Club's playing well, first place. Bouncer up the middle. But the Marlins will take a 3-2 lead to the 9th. It's a 3-2 Marlins lead. 9th inning. And Vinny Pistano coming on now for the Tribe to work. 18th appearance of the year. 1 win, no losses. ERA 3.07. He has punched out 21 in 14 2/3 innings and walked just 6. He'll face Giancarlo Stanton, Logan Morrison, and Gabby Sanchez for the Marlins here in the 9th. Justin Verlander had his no-hitter broken up in the 9th inning against the Pirates, but the Tigers cruising to an easy win tonight at Comerica. White Sox have already won. They beat the Cubs 3-2 earlier today. Kansas City leading Arizona 3-1. But right now the Indians on the short end of a 3-2 score. Stanton 1 for 3 with a single. Man to count 0-2. There's the Marlins closer, Heath Bell, who's had his moments already this season. Stanton strikes out, 1 away. Logan Morrison 0 for 2 with a walk.
Well, he's acting like he wants to take that bunt because they have the shift on him here. You have Lopez playing shortstop, and he could just push it down the third baseline and have an easy base hit. And he doesn't have to worry about deadening the ball.
Just got to make sure he gets it by the mound.
Oh, yeah, get it past Pastano. You could take a half swing and almost have a double.
Instead, he pulls it right into the shift. 2 down. Stay tuned after the ball game for the Conrad Steyer Express and Total Car Care post-game show. We'll look back at the highlights, check out the standings, see where everything sets up, and get you ready for tomorrow's middle game of the series, which again comes your way at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, different starting time here. If it's sunny like it was today, it could be tough to see tomorrow afternoon.
Early in the game could be.
Yes, indeed.
Interesting. And I believe it is supposed to be gorgeous again tomorrow. Out of play. The 1-1 hit to right. Chu on the move over near the line. He'll make the catch. Well, yesterday the Indians went to their last at bat down a run, and they got up off the deck and won it. We'll see if they can do it again here tonight. We go to the bottom of the ninth here at Progressive Field. Indians need a run to tie, 2 to win.
That'd be a great way to kick off a weekend if they could score a couple of runs and come back. It's Heath Bell on for the Marlins, appearing in 15 games, a 2-3 record. And look at the ERA. But again, when you're a closer and you have one bad game, that can inflate that. But 3 out of 7 save opportunities. 12 2/3 innings, 18 hits. Also 12 walks. That's 30 base runners in 12 2/3 innings. So I'd say the key here, you get that leadoff man aboard any way, shape, or form and just get it into his own head.
Well, it'll be the bottom third of the Indians' order due up here. Johnny Damon, Casey Kochman, Jose Lopez. Damon has walked all 3 times tonight, but that was against Carlos Zambrano, who just couldn't throw him any strikes.
Yeah, he has been on base all 3 times via the walk.
Bell misses ball 1. Well, he stands really straight up and rigid when he delivers the ball. There's a strike. He goes 6'2", 262 pounds.
Well, you had to figure when you're pitching out in Petco Park, it's certainly got to help you as a pitcher. That's like a place in Seattle, pitching in Seattle where it's pitcher friendly.
Damon liner to left, coming in, making the catch is Dobbs for out number 1. It's going to bring up Casey Kochman. Down low, ball 1. Kochman drove in the Indians' first run of the game with a double back in the second. Broken bat liner to second, 2 down. So that's going to leave it up to Jose Lopez to try and keep it alive. Lopez here tonight has singled, walked, and grounded out. And it's ball 1 down low. One ball, 1 strike. If Lopez keeps it alive, Shin-Soo Choo would be next. That's too low. Two balls and a strike. Heath Bell fires, and it's fouled back. Marlins all-time regular season against the Indians, 6-3. Though the last time they met in 2007, the Indians won 2 out of 3. The 2-2. Routine bouncer to short. Throw in time, and the game is over. So the Marlins come to town and shut down the Indians' offense, winning it by a final score of 3-2. And Zambrano, Choate, and Bell combined to retire the last 9 Indians in order. With the win, the Miami Marlins are now 21-18. The Indians drop to 22-17. Winning pitcher is Carlos Zambrano, who is now 2-2 on the year. The save goes to Heath Bell, just his 4th on the year. Losing pitcher is Tony Sipp. He drops to 0-2 on the season. Time now for our key play of the game, brought to you by Key Bank.
Well, that's going to come in the 8th inning. Joe Smith, man on second base, one hopper to him. He had him dead to rights. He ended up chasing him back to second too much instead of giving the ball up. And then the throw hits the runner, deflects out into right center field. He was able to get